All right, and we're back. So I had to get my guest set up. I have one of my guests coming on. We're gonna start off with Miss Nicole Roxy. I don't know what she is today, but we're gonna bring Miss Roxy Nicole in. She was probably one of my first guests when I first started the date night thing. What's going on, Roxy? Roxy,
Salud.
what's going on?
Everything is
Oh,
good.
you coming on
Everything's
here drinking for
good.
real? What's been going on? You had what's been going on with you? I mean, last time I talked to you, I interviewed you. You had just found someone. This guy, it seemed like he was a all right guy, a little, very eclectic. If you call it eclectic, you know. I'm country as hell, but
Yeah, you said eclectic, but what?
and say he was very futuristic. Let's just use that word, okay? I can't hear you. Your
Yeah.
phone. Okay. So what's going on with
You
you now
can't.
in the dating pool? What's going on now in the dating pool? What's going on with you now?
I'm not focused on dating. I'm just focused on living my best life. If it
And so
comes, it comes.
what do you mean? Okay, living your best life. What the hell does that mean? That's different from for everybody. What do you mean by you living your best? What do you mean by living your best life?
Living your best life means that I think that
According
too
to
many
Roxy,
people are focused on
man,
too many people
Roxy,
are focused on labels. They think they gotta be with to be happy. You can be
right,
happy by
right,
yourself. If you happy by
right.
and then when you meet somebody, it's that happy.
Roxy, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you something.
I just
I
got
need
back from
you.
Vegas. Well,
I understand that, but Roxy, your phone. I heard like your
you need
phone
me
is
to
like
what?
breaking up, man. Your phone is breaking up. You need to
Okay,
sit
can you hear
still.
me
Can you sit
now?
still for us for a minute? What about now?
Yeah.
Now she in still shot. You should have stayed with him, baby. We gave you some better
You
email,
I thought you was
better.
talking to somebody. Talk,
I
I
don't know
thought you was
what you
talking to
just said.
IT.
Okay, well, I
Thought
don't
you
know
was
what
talking to IT. I, I'm
you
being submissive. You said be still, so be still.
can you find like a okay. So listen. So tell me what's going on. What do you mean you living your best life? I hear a lot. What does that mean?
Living out loud. Some people think living unapologetically only applies like one community or LGBTQ plus, but I think living unapologetically is just you really don't have nobody else to be responsible for. And being with the last guy, I noticed, and he even said himself after we departed, um,
Uh-huh.
he did mention that there were some mental health issues that were not addressed. And if I would have known those going into the relationship, I would have moved differently, maybe, or understood his reasoning differently. But a lot of people are out here dating, and some people are not ready, whether that be male or female, and they're not addressing the mental health issues. And then they're
Right.
looking for that person. That's where that heart is wanting that happiness. Oh, this person's gonna make me happy. We're gonna be together. I'm gonna walk down the aisle. I'm gonna get that ring. No, you gotta focus on everything else that comes after
Okay,
the ceremony.
okay, so now that's him, his mental health. But what did you do? What did you do? What's your responsibility in this situation?
My issue was every time there's a red flag, I said I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm
Okay.
not gonna stay in this relationship because I'm not gonna settle. I choose me. And then not knowing about his mental health issues, it triggered him.
Roxy, you just shifted back to him again. I asked you, what did you do?
I told you what
We
I
already
did.
know
I triggered him.
you triggered him, right? And what are some of the things you do to trigger him? Okay, that's what. As well as I'm getting on you about this, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a good clap, and a good, virtual pat on the back and say, I'm glad that you said that you used the word you, which is accountability. But tell me, what exactly did you do to trigger? Like, what are some of the things you do, or did you find out what triggered him first before you started dating him? Like, tell me about these triggers.
No, because when we first started dating, I was very upfront about the things that I had gone through and my emotional baggage and what what things would set me off. However, he didn't tell me his things. So with my actions, whether it would be, if it was just a red flag, I'm like, I'm out, deuces. Like I don't have to deal with this. I would rather not deal with this, not knowing how it did hurt him. I hurt him, not intentionally, but unintentionally. But I feel
Right.
like if people have these conversations first, but what you do for
Hey,
how much money you make, all this kind of stuff, instead of
go ahead.
what?
It's delayed. Your phone. I don't know what's going on with your phone. I mean, maybe it's that jewelry. I don't know.
So
Maybe it's the jewelry that's causing
silly.
the
So
internet.
silly.
I don't know. Um, but now, but now, so here's the thing though. How long? Okay, now let's just now one thing about it. I'm playing big. I'm playing big brother now. How long did
Now
you know this guy?
your mic just went out. Where it?
Can you hear me again?
We started off. Yeah, I can hear you now. We
Okay,
started
go ahead.
off in the film industry. We started off in the film industry, and then it
But you
kind
didn't
of
answer my
took a
question.
turn
My
from there.
question to you was, how long did you know this guy before you committed to him?
Probably about 2 months.
2 months. Okay,
Yeah.
2 months. All right. Okay, and so last time I checked, and we got it all documented now. Again, I'm playing Big Brother. It's documented now. In the 2 months you knew him, at what month did you move in?
He asked me to move in like probably in 3, 4 weeks.
3, 4 weeks, and then you moved in, huh?
Worst mistake ever. I've never moved in with anybody except my husband.
Except your husband. Okay, but I understand that. So all right. So I guess the biggest responsibility is starting with self, because all this is about self and decisions that we make. Let's be honest. And I think from the jump, the decision,
It is.
the
And be
right, but
accountable.
right. So the accountability, as far as what happened, really truly comes from the first step, which was you probably took you jumped a little bit too fast and you kind of moved in. So I can see where these triggers and things um that you say you saw, you didn't get a chance to really try to identify them before you actually put your drawers in the dresser. Let
No,
me
I
go with the phone.
didn't. And I think part of it was when you've come out of a long relationship and a painful relationship, you're trying to see if you still can care again, if you can still be pathetic, if you can still maintain a relationship. Can you still pour into somebody other than yourself? And then you got your friends, who buying you on.
Right. So basically, I would probably say this was the quintessential under to get over. Right? You know what under get over, right? You know what that is?
I don't think it was an honor to get over because I'm always over, and I'm not looking for a financial sponsor.
Okay, this is what under over means. That means you just said you came out of one situation, you got into another, so you got under somebody to get over the last person.
No, because I've been
Th-
divorced for about 5 years now. If
but
that was
okay, I thought I heard,
That would have been a rebound
Okay,
if it
so
was
I think I
honestly
asked
over.
right. So, but I thought I asked you early, and I thought I heard, and maybe because you chopped and screwed over here on the phone, it's choppy. So my thing to you, so my question to you is, um, and just kind of help us out. You basically stated that I thought I heard you say you moved in after a few weeks, but you had just left one situation. I thought you said you had to get over some things first, all right? I thought you heard you say that.
No, no, I had to get over unlearning in my ex marriage,
You had to do what now?
which was well before that. Get over some things, unlearning some things in my ex marriage.
But you was trying to unlearn them when you met him, though, right?
No, not really. I hadn't been in like a long term relationship like that. I hadn't lived with anyone. I hadn't really took the time off for nobody else. Really, like
So
on a
you
day to
just
day basis like that. You know,
so
day
you so
in, day
you
in.
so you just trying to see where you was at.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Hmm.
Okay.
And
So basically, you testing the waters.
I thought I was ready, but it was just miscommunication. We talked well after that, and we identified a lot of things, and we talked about trying to get back together, and then we just said, "No, I've seen him. I see him
Hmm. Got you.
at the film events and all that, and it's still just strictly business."
Hmm. So being that, and help me out with the timeline. When did you guys finally decide to separate from the situation?
It was like around shucks, probably July.
Around July. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So since July up until now, have you made an assessment as far as where you are when it comes to dating?
I have made an assessment.
Okay. So tell us now, what assessments have you assessed?
The assessments that I have assessed for myself is that I'm guarded. I will admit that I'm still guarded. You
Okay.
know, that is a trigger for me. It's not the guarded that you think of automatically about, oh, I don't trust him, or I got to go through a cell phone or something like that. It's the guarded
Mhm.
part of not want to be feeling hurt again.
Okay.
Hurt
Uh,
hurts. No matter how you get it, hurt hurts. And
uh-huh.
also during those minutes, I've come to realize that I have a lot of fun by myself. I got a good life. I'm blessed. I got great
Hmm.
friends. I'm able to travel. My son in Japan. It's like to be with somebody else this next go around, they gotta enhance my life and my energy.
Right. Okay. So at some point, and I could definitely agree. You probably are in a state where you want to continue to assess where you are. Um, like what's the longest you've ever been single? The longest period you've ever been single? No, nothing. Just you living your best life, as you would say.
3 years.
3 years. Three
Mm-hmm.
years. Okay. All right. So what's the number one? What's the in your for your own assessment, right? For your own assessment, I don't know. You tell me. What would be the number? What would be the three things that you feel that you learn that you can't bring to the next situation? What are the three things?
That's a tough one, Mark,
Okay, well,
but
if you
it
really,
needs to be
if you,
addressed.
it
Uh,
definitely needs to
okay,
be addressed.
number one, you can't bring anyone else's issues. So, say for instance, if you and I relationship, I can't bring what you did or what you didn't do. I can't bring that over into another relationship. That's like bringing a negative deficit relationship. You're not allowing that slate clean, so to speak.
Right. So okay. So how
Because
do you?
I'm already coming. I'm already.
So how do you do that though? How do you you've identified it? So how do you get underneath it? How do you actually? How are you able to like tackle that though? What's your plan to tackling that?
You you just have to be upfront and honest and transparent on. You know, I've
Uh,
met people,
I
Tim.
asked
Um,
I asked you no. I asked you what are you gonna do to tackle that first thing? What is Roxy gonna do? Not anybody else. What is Roxy gonna do?
I gotta extend the olive branch. You know, it's just I gotta assume the best, not the worst.
Doing the best out
It
of
takes
work.
a
Okay,
little
so
bit of trust.
right. Okay, so what's number two? I said three. That was just one.
I know how to count.
Well, I'm gonna remind you
Number
because I don't
two.
know. I have to keep talking because that phone keep chopping up like DJ Screw. So,
I don't know why it's chopping up.
but you good
The
though. You
speaker
good.
is
Whatever
fine.
you just
Um,
please don't move. Go ahead.
okay. Number two of my assessments,
And this is
that
something
I'm
that
good
you can think
enough.
about. Say it again.
I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm enough.
Oh, okay. So, but right, I can already tell based upon this conversation. I can tell you are enough. So listen, being that you are
Don't be
enough.
talking to me like like you homeschooling me.
No, I'm not homeschooling you. No, we no, we being look, Roxy. Let's go ahead and just tell the world. We probably met about what? How many months we've known it? You first time you came on the show. How long ago was that? About 3-4 months ago.
It was a little bit longer than that. Wasn't it like
I mean,
March?
I'm sorry. It's like March, so we're almost what?
What
Almost a year
you
into
what
this
you
thing.
drinking?
I got something in the cup. It ain't coffee. I can
I
definitely tell
know
you
it
that.
ain't coffee. I know.
Okay, so let's just say close to almost 9 months, right? 9 months. Okay.
Mhm.
So in the 9 months I've been knowing, I keeps it real, right? I know I keeps it real with you, right?
You do. You
So
do.
it's not that I'm trying to like put your back up against the wall, be extra for everybody else. This is our first time actually talking. We've talked privately, we talked over we've had real conversations. So I'm definitely gonna always keep it real, like we're still having those conversations. So I'm not trying to school you, but I just want to. You see, I actually give me three. Going back to the original question, I actually give me three, and I only had one. So, and you might not know it. I know I kind of put you on the spot with it, but my point is, if you're really trying to do the work while you living your best life, why not find out what number two is?
I just said number two. Is number two not good enough for you?
Okay, what was number two again? Because maybe it wasn't clear enough for me.
I said the number two was I'm enough. If this is it for me,
Okay,
I'm enough.
all right. So number two is the reason that you two things that you need to improve is because you are enough. So because I remember me and you were talking, I might know that. Explain what is enough to everybody else.
Enough to me means that no, I don't have this syndrome about or this aura that I'm a boss chick. I do this. I can do this by myself. No, I want a man that I can be submissive to. I want to be submissive. My father is from Lagos, Nigeria. I know the art of submission.
Okay.
I want to be a homemaker. I want to be all those things. But if it doesn't happen a second go around, guess what? I was a wife for 22 years. I'm good. So if that includes
So
me
let's not worry about
having a
let's not worry about anything outside of you. So if you feel like you're enough, what are you gonna do? I understand you got clearly. What are you gonna do to make sure you're unenough?
I'm enough
What is
to
the unenough?
continue
Like, what are
my
you gonna do?
solo travel, continue my acting, continue my modeling, and just continue loving on me and my family and my son. I
Right.
mean, I got a lot of people that love me, and I love and pour into a lot of people.
Right. So okay. So I'm gonna say this big brother again talking to you.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna
big
say this.
brother.
Right. So I'm gonna say this. I would probably say enough. Understanding what too much is. When you say you're enough, you gotta understand what too much is. What's too much? What's too much? I'm spoiled. I am uh closed minded. Like what is enough? Like what is that one thing? Is it are you spoiled? Like did you get your way? You start acting a certain kind of way. Like
You know
it's not
what? You
that.
know what? It's definitely not that, Mark.
I'm
N-
digging.
Now that you said that, like over time, for those of y'all that are just tuning in, Mark and I have really developed a relationship, um, like a big brother, little sister relationship.
Right.
And I don't ask for bags. I don't know what the new bags are. I don't know what the new shoes are. I don't buy clothes. I brand clothes. Um, I'm into all that stuff. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
asked for in my marriage? I asked for three things over 22 years, and I never got it. I asked for him to buy me lingerie. I asked for him to take me fishing, and I asked for him to hold me every night. So when you say spoiled, no. And then I was also in the military, so no, not spoiled.
Okay. So what is the one thing that you've seen constantly? Like, let's say for instance, if you've been through relationships, dating, or whatever, have you ever heard a group of men that say, "What's the most common thing that you a descriptive what men say? You know what? I don't like that you blank, right? So, what is the most common thing you hear? Like for me, right? I'm gonna give you one as a man, right? One of the most common things I have that probably throw off women or what makes people feel uncomfortable or etc. that I know I need to improve on would be I'm not the most vocal person, right? On how
That
I
would be
feel.
that would be the same for me. I kind of I don't want to say shut down,
Right,
but going through an abusive marriage, verbally and
right,
physically, I shut down. That's just your automatic defense, you know. So I write. So hence the producing, hence the film, hence now me doing what I want to do, which is my true passion. So I feel like
right,
if I can do those things, it's like it kind of makes up for the deficit of not having supposedly what everybody else wants. The grass is gonna always look green on the other side. Somebody who's never been married before, never had kids, they're looking at me, oh, you got kids, you been married. It Everybody wants something that they don't have. So it's like now that I'm at this point, I've had a relationship. I thought coming to the US from another country from Asia was gonna open up my dating pool. It has not. So that's been a big disappointment because
hmm
the guys that I do meet, they don't want to travel abroad. They don't even have passports. Um, then the business minded, they're not business savvy. So I would say I'm
right.
spoiled in that. I am spoiled in that because dating abroad is a truly different dating pool, you know?
Got got
And
you. So you're saying so one of the things you say is that I just want to make sure I understand this. So one of the things you're saying is that you're spoiled in the fact of that you're used to certain things, right? And if you don't get them, you shut down. You're not a person that communicates. I'm just putting those two things together. Which
yeah,
is that what
I
you?
have been told that I'm a horrible communicator, but for like it just depends on that person, who that person is. If I'm dating you, I'm a horrible communicator. But to my friends that I've been friends with over 30 years, I'm the best communicator. I'm the best problem solver.
Right, right. So how can one solve that problem of being like that? What are you gonna do to try to like? Okay, I have this going on now. I have to do this. Like, what are you gonna do to tackle that?
I guess, Martin, that's just gonna come with time. I don't know if that comes with a sense of, me and my best friend, my homeboy, he's like, we both are arrogant. We've always been that way since like fifth grade. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
sense of arrogance like, like, oh, she's a ditty. It's just a sense of arrogance with confidence. It's like, okay, if I don't get that partner, it's okay. Um, does it get lonely? Yes, it does. But I make up for other things because I'm not gonna settle. I'm not gonna settle, I mean little things like just romantic things. Do those things that show me that you're caring about me, that you're thinking about me, that you want to spend all that time with me. And that's where I say I shut. That's when my communication shuts down because I don't verbally communicate those. I just end up just blocking or walking away because I feel like, okay, you say I'm beautiful, you say you want to be with me, but then you're not investing that time. I'm an investment. I'm not temporary and permanent. So I feel like if I'm investing my time in you, especially with all the stuff I have going on, then it should be reciprocated. And then the third thing is I'm not going to be less intentional. I'm going to be even more intentional. That's an assessment that I made. I'm not going to let a bad relationship, sour the rest if I do get another relationship. I ain't got nothing to lose. It's like, and I think that's what people are missing in the dating world is put your best foot forward. You can't just keep holding back and just keep repetitively dating. You got to pull something, just like you're asking me this. You got to ask yourself, okay, what did I take from that? What did I take from this dating? And pull all those pieces together, holistically come together and say, okay, I know what I want. I know what I'm
Okay.
looking.
All right. So we've just established one is what bringing old stuff. You need to start extending the olive branch. Right. That's one. So that when I said three, so that's two. So excuse me, that's one. So the second one would be um, understanding how to have better open lines of communication when there's certain things you're not receiving. You have to make sure that you are able to communicate with that, be open, and allow it to kind of transpire into things you want. So that's two, right? So what would be the third? We almost home. We almost home. What's the third?
The third one I thought is
Nah.
is being more intentional.
So and being more intentional.
Okay, I'm sorry, Professor Mark. I'm sorry. That's not going to
No,
be go.
no. I'm not saying that. You said being more intentional. I
You
mean,
choppy.
okay. So you said something
That's
about
not an
being.
assessment.
Well, first of all, I didn't even hear what you say. Again, is that internet? But
It's that coffee.
no, it's your internet, right? So look,
I
so
got 5 bars.
okay, I understand you got 5 bars, but what I'm saying is on this end is doing whatever. But look, so my question to you is, it's not that. First of all, let's back up, right? My name is not Professor, it's Mark, right? Let's start there. All right, let's be better. Let's be better.
Okay.
And then two, I just asked you something, and for me, it just seems like when I asked you that question, everything was kind of running together. So really, I'm getting clarification. It's not like it's not good enough. Again, the lines of communication that we're having right now is kind of convoluted. So that's what's going on. So I'm trying to understand. So help
But
me
you
understand.
are not drinking coffee either.
I know,
So
but that does not have to do with what we're talking about.
okay. So would you like for me to repeat number 3 or reassess number 3?
I don't know. Go ahead and name me the three. Get this. Come on.
I said number 3 was be more
Okay,
intentional.
put them in order. Put them in order. Put them in order. And we're gonna definitely have a conversation offline.
Number
Put them in
1
order.
is extend the olive branch, right?
Right.
Okay. Number 2, we said about communication, right?
Okay.
Be more open dialogue, right? What you said is I'm
Okay.
being convoluted right now. And number 3 was being more intentional
All
versus
right.
less
Okay.
intentional.
Being less intentional. Okay. And so now we have our top three things, and it seems to me that you are on the road to success. And whatever success you may find in relationships, I hope that you find it. I definitely appreciate your time. I know earlier you said you don't have that much time. Do you have a few more moments, or do you have to go?
I have a few more moments.
Okay. All right. So these next few moments, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna definitely have a hard line of saying, one, we're gonna both respect each other, and then two, we're gonna just keep it, within lines of the show. Okay.
Okay. Agreed.
All right. Agreed. Right. Because I'm big brother. I ain't trying to knock you over the head or make you stress out or anything. I like you, Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm coming from a space of really trying to understand. If I didn't care, I wouldn't ask you to come on. Let's start there.
Oh,
Right?
you want me to come on the show?
No. Listen to what I just said. Hold on. You just said you was enough, right? You just said you was enough, right?
Yes.
Let's not show it right at this point, right? So
Mhm.
my thing to you is that again, we are coming from a space of help, but not hurt. This is just about I'm about solutions. I'm not about keeping a problem, right?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
so so it's not about you coming on the show. I asked you again. I just gave you. See, here's the thing. This is a great example. I just gave you a wonderful compliment, and you followed that compliment up was you don't want me to come on your show. I said I invited you on the show because one I know.
No,
Hold on.
your volume went out. I said also you want me to come on the show.
Excuse
I didn't
me.
say didn't. I didn't say did
Say that
not.
one more.
I said
Oh,
so
okay.
you want me to come on the show.
Yeah, that's why you're here, right? I
Yeah, I didn't
invited
say
you, right?
nothing bad.
Okay. So I wanted you to come on the show because whenever I see someone that I feel like has the potential to be a great mate to someone, because you are definitely one thing I can say. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna use this moment to say this. I'm gonna give you one of the most compliments that a lot of men would like to desire when it comes to women, which is a helpmate. You will be a perfect helpmate for someone. I know that, right? I know that you will be a perfect helpmate because I understand how you and I have been able to communicate and probably talk about some personal, some business things that we've talked about, right? And how you move and how resourceful you are, right? So in that department of being the ideal woman, I'm gonna definitely say you definitely check a box in that, right? You definitely check a box, regardless of whatever else you think that I think is wrong or whatever. Which I'm not here to judge, right? We're just having a conversation in front of a guest, right? but my thing to you is that so as well as I see things that I probably don't like, one of the biggest things I can definitely say again is a check mark for you that you will be a helpmate to someone else.
I
So
appreciate that.
you on the way for real. You on the way because that right there is definitely an important tool for men. Also, as well as the three things that we focus on that was negative, I'm gonna give you two more. I'm gonna give you my three, right? That for what I know, and remember, we started here on date night, right? We started here. That's how we started. That's how we became a relationship. You reach out to me, we talk out to you. It's always been strictly like that between you and I. So even though we don't talk as much or even kick it like that, I still know some things about you. So number two is that you are definitely you support people, right? You support others. I know it's part of being a helpmate, but also whenever we see that type of light, right? Man, we see that type of light, and when you support others, guess what? That makes us proud. That makes us feel a certain kind of way that you're a type of woman that we're proud to have around us. That says, you know what, this woman is working her sense of being, um, her best form of mother nature, right? Which is to nourish, right? That's a support is a person that's going to nourish people, however they can. So that's number two, right? So number three, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest with you. We've definitely met. I can definitely say, statue wise, you are a beautiful woman, right?
Thank you.
You are a beautiful woman. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, you are a beautiful woman. You're tall, fellas. She's single. When I get her right for you, fellas, she gonna be right for you. All right. She's about how tall are you, Tiffany? About 6 feet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 6 feet, slender. She's an actress. She's been doing wonderful things on social media. Um, Tonight she's Tiffany, but on the weekend she's Roxy.
I was
She's
just
Roxy,
Roxy in Vegas for a
right?
week.
You're Roxy in Vegas. So here's the thing, Roxy, because I do have another guest. I'm gonna bring Natasha on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring on, let y'all speak. Y'all know each other, right?
We know of each other. I can't wait
Love
to
each
meet her.
other. Nice to meet you. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up for a second, then me and her gonna have to chop it up. All right. What's up, Tasha?
Hey, Tasha.
Tasha, you muted. Your
Yes, you
microphone muted.
Is that better?
That's much better. What's up, Tasha?
Yes. But hold
What's
on one
up?
second, Tasha. Mark, what was your third one? Because you took me through heck to
I
tell
gave
me
you 3.
my
That was 3.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
said you're a help. You have a wife trait, which is a helpmate, right? That's 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a positive attribute.
Mm-hmm.
2, you have a supporting spirit, which means that you are a nurturer, right? Anytime
Mm-hmm.
you support people, that means you're nurturing people's thoughts, ideas, whatever it is that whatever nurtures do. They definitely have those traits. And then number 3, you're beautiful, you're tall, you're 6 feet, you're an actress, you're light skinned, you got, I mean, I don't know what kind of hair you got tonight, but you got hair. You got long hair, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, so those are my 3.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Those are my 3.
Hey, Latasha. How are you?
Hey, hey, little mama, how are you?
Right. I know.
I'm doing great.
Roxy, hey, Roxy.
Yes,
Ah,
it is. Yes, she got a
hey,
Roxy
girl.
chain
Hey.
on right now.
Look.
She about to see. There we go. But look, check
Look.
this out.
Okay. Salute.
Salud.
Hey, check this out. Check this out, Roxy. Let me go ahead because I know Tasha don't have too much time. Let me go ahead. Me and her have 1-on-1. She was on the show
Okay.
too, so I'm gonna go ahead and get her ideas. I mean, I appreciate your time. I'm definitely holler at you, but I'm gonna get that ass when I see it, boy. I'll talk to you later, man. All
Okay.
right.
Roxy,
Bye,
are you in
Tasha.
Atlanta? Are you in Atlanta?
Are you
Yeah,
coming to
she's
Atlanta anytime soon?
Yeah, I'll be
what's
there
that?
next weekend.
Okay. Let me know. We can hang out.
Right. Okay.
Let-
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
See you later.
Give me one.
All
Bye
right. Bye
bye.
bye.
All right. What's up, Tasha?
What's up?
Man, your ass late than a mug.
I know. I know. I mean, it's like storming outside. So, you know, coming from Little Rock, I'm commuting every day. So that's about a
Right.
45-minute drive. But when it's raining and storming and you driving for everybody else, that 45 minutes turn into an hour and 15 minutes.
You know what? You ought to be a politician. I ain't buying that shit. No, the mess with you though. But Tasha, what's going on? I asked you to come on. One of the biggest things I want you to come on about is talk about your experience here on date night. I know that we started out, you were definitely an earlier guest for me. And not only that, also behind the scenes, you definitely tried to push some ideas and even some events in Arkansas. Arkansas, we coming.
Right.
Like Dion said, we coming.
Coming.
Little Rock, we coming, man. We finna put something together in Little Rock. But here's the thing. So I want to just kind of have you back on and kind of recap our conversation, and also tell me what type of things you've learned, things that you've seen, that you've seen from other people that has come onto the platform. Just kind of tell me a little bit about your experience.
Okay. So initially, when I came on, just trying to coming from a marriage, I was married for totality 18 years, and so being single and navigating through that whole experience, been single since 2016, and just trying to um, first off, let me say I was married at 19. So it was a lot of things that I didn't get a chance to experience. There's a lot of life that I didn't get a chance to experience because I was married. And so when I got divorced in 2016, 18 years later, the dating scene was, something that I wasn't familiar with. And so I dated, and then your podcast allowed me to
My
think about some
platform,
things.
my
Platform,
platform.
your platform, your
Hold on, time
platform.
out. Okay, so a platform is something that most people stand on while giving a testimony, a speech, or something
Okay.
that everyone can see. So the platform is for everyone. It's not just for me. I'm just a moderator. So you saw on my platform, finish.
Okay, I saw on your platform, it allowed people to voice their experiences, share their thoughts, and things of that nature. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I'm not gonna lie, and especially with the one that you have here recently with just the men talking, I made sure that I paid particularly attention to that. I really like how the guy that is from Arkansas, he was able to give a comparison between the women in Atlanta and the women in Arkansas. So
Right.
that was very informative. Um, I also learned that men don't care about how much you make. They do not care about how much you make. They don't care that you can make the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's not important to them. Um, I learned that. I always thought that that was one of my strongest qualities, the fact that I could make a table, but they don't care anything about that.
You
They don't
making
care
the
anything
table
about
now.
that.
You making the table now.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
Right,
I don't
right,
want to
right.
make the table. That's actually not. That's so not a quality to the. That may be a reason why I am single, because I know how to do a little bit of everything. I can adjust to every area. I can chill with the homeboys. I can go into the
Right.
boardroom and run it. I can be in all type of settings, and sometimes that is not a blessing, so to speak. It could be a curse because that intimidates people, and I didn't know that. I thought that being versatile made me more, for lack of better words, marketable, but it don't.
Mhm.
It intimidates people. And I hate that I come across like that. I can't do anything about that. But nonetheless, that's just how it is. And so what I've learned is I just have to be me. I just have to be me. And I'm sure that there's someone that can deal with that. And so, because just as sure as I know how to do everything, I know that before you were mentioning about being the help, how Roxy was a good helpmate. That is one of my qualities as well. And so, listening to your platform, I understand that that's more what guys are looking for, not so much as what you bring to the table, but can you be a helpmate? Can you, and this is a word women don't like, can you submit? And a lot
Let
of women
let
don't
okay. So
understand.
look, stop this. I want to say this. I like cooperate, right? Co to operate under one, right? Co.
I like that. I
We're
like
gonna
that.
we're gonna we're gonna be we both gonna be cooperative, right? It's not a one-way street, right? It's a cycle. Everything works in cycles, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I said this, especially during the man conversation. Everything works in cycles. So if it works in cycles, that means you give here. Guess what? I return, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The world is ran off cycles, right? Women have cycles, right? The seasons come in cycles, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything's a cycle. So
Right.
I feel that I like cooperative women, not submissive, sub mission. I've
Right.
heard so many
Right.
different
Like
things, and I
sub.
understand that. But cooperative makes me feel like we're both are on the same line. I
Mm-hmm.
have my role, you have your role. Negative and positive battery creates a
Mm-hmm.
positive charge, etc. You compliment me, and we both cooperate. We both are being cooperative towards each other. So
I like that.
I like that word. You can use submissive in state if you want to be submissive out there. If y'all want to be submissive, that's fine. But for me, I like cooperative women.
Yeah. But see, what happens is a lot of people misunderstand the word submissiveness. Submissiveness
Right.
is
I agree.
cooperation, you know,
It right, right.
having the ability to cooperate.
right. But unfortunately, when you being that, I say this, and I'm just being honest. Well, in my opinion as well. When you have words such as submissive and it is fed to when we say men say we want women to be submissive, remember in our minds as men, I'm gonna say this: it's the ego feeder, right? It feeds the ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it feeds the ego, a lot of times what happens is we're not going to see what you're saying, right? Because remember, we're led sometimes by our ego. We're very egotistical creatures, right? So that's why I say you can use it, but understand subconsciously that gives a message and it feeds the ego where it can kind of be in balance, if that makes sense. Cooperative for me, I think it shows more balance, right? But we're going to use it for this exercise. It's fine. You can use it however you want to look at it. You can agree or not agree with that. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, like one of the things that I heard you say is that, as far as being a helpmate, and I think I asked Roxy this, and I'm definitely want to see where you are. What are some of the three things you would say that has caused you not to like lock in with anyone? Like, what is that thing that is not? It's not. And we're gonna do balance. What's one thing that you're offering, and what's one thing that the people that you've noticed are offering at this time? What would be
When
those?
you
What would be?
when you say these people, are you meaning other women or?
No, men. But are you dating other women? I'm sorry, I don't.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason why I said it is
When I
because
meant no, when I meant by people, I meant men. I'm sorry,
okay,
men.
okay,
So what
okay.
are you bringing? Because I said I preface it by saying dating, right? So
Mm-hmm.
while you're dating, right, the two things. What are some of the things you feel like you bring in pot that you bring in negatively, and what have you been seeing negatively? Let's start there from from the men's side, and what are you bringing negatively on your side
What do I see negatively from the
from
men's
the
standpoint?
while you're dating? What are some of the negative things that you're running into that you constantly see at this point?
Well, okay, here's the deal. So women, they have some women, they they have butts, they have boobs, they have eyelashes, they have long hair, they have nails, they have all these things that make them stick out.
Okay,
And men are of the physical, right? So the
right.
first thing they're gonna notice is big butt, small waist. Even
Okay,
though she bought that, by and large, now there are some women that just naturally got it going on, but by and large, even though she bought that that's just what the guy's gonna gravitate to. No matter what it is, even if it's just something that they, in between, in the meantime, in between time, if it's just something they just gonna knock off. But men are of the physical, so quite naturally, it's just what they're gonna gravitate to. Okay. And
okay. Hold on, is that a
then you,
negative?
for me, it's a negative because
Why is that a negative for you?
it's a negative for me because I get passed up. Guys don't look at me and see big butts and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't have all that. I don't have a big butt, small waist, anything like that. I mean, I'm not saying that my shape is jacked up by no means, but it's a
No,
natural
you
shape.
in shape, right? But
I
you in
am.
shape.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
in
I
shape. I
am.
mean, you in shape. But I see what you're saying. You're saying you. And I want this clarification. So what you're saying is based upon the negative things that men bring to the table is that the fact that they are so used to having women with butts and breasts, and
Men are of the
that's
physical.
that's a negative to you.
That's a negative to me because unless you are a man that knows what they want, and sometimes, okay, so sometimes a man could just be of the physical and see this and gravitate toward the big butts and things like that. And then sometimes a man can, if a man doesn't look at those things and looks at the inner me, then they have to look at the enemy. But by and large, men are not doing that. By and large, men are looking at these big butt, small waist, made up women, by and large, just what they're looking at because men are of the physical. I understand that. But I say that to say this. Even though they do that, the guys gravitate toward those type of women. I don't really think I want a man like that. And so that makes my category of men even smaller, because there's not a whole lot, by and large, there's not a whole lot of men that's looking at the inner person. The inner
Okay.
me, I have a lot to offer. I'm a teammate. I'm a helpmate. I'm a team player. I go hard. I'm loyal. I have all of these qualities. But if I'm walking by, if it's two of us walking down the street, you got Big Booty Judy, and then there's me. The guys gonna look at Big Booty Judy. Now, even though they may just want to smash and go, but typically that's what they're gonna go for. So and two, we're in an age where men can pick and choose what they want. You got men that have great jobs, they got their shit together, they're the cream of the crop, and they know that they're the cream of the crop. And so I'm just a woman of many. I'm in a sea of many women, because women outnumber men. So you have to just like really stick out from the crowd in order to be noticed by something that you would be attracted to. Most men that I'm attracted to, coincidentally, are already married. You want to know why? Because they're giving off that particular energy that I'm looking for. So that means they already possess the ability to be in a monogamous relationship. So most men around my age, they're in a monogamous relationship already. Or they don't want to settle down because they know they don't have to.
Okay. So from your standpoint, as far as the reason that you're single, what would be the one thing you say that you're bringing to the table that's not so delightful? That's negative. I didn't want to use that word, but I'm gonna use it. What are you doing what are you bringing that's not so good right now in the dating space? What type of piss you putting in the pool?
Mark, I really can't answer that because I'm not traumatized. I don't bring drama. So, I'm not toxic. I'm just a good old fashioned woman. Maybe that's it.
So, Tasha, you don't have any flaws, is what you're telling me.
No,
you don't
I'm
have.
not
You don't.
saying that.
No. I'm not talking about as a person. I'm talking about as far as the dating is concerned. And I don't know. I'm asking. I'm just trying to jog your memory. What do you think that you are doing that may not be of a positive while dating that may be causing you not to get to that stage of locking in?
The only thing I can think of is that I'm somewhat of a runner. I'm a runner.
Hold on for a second. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. No, I'm saying thank you because it's like you act like there was nothing you was bringing, but now you talking about you running. So come on, runner. Come on,
right?
Flojo.
I'm a runner. Yeah, right. I'm a runner. I'm a track star. Because if shit don't seem right to me, I'm running. I'm out. Deuces. I'm not gonna stick around. And sometimes I run prematurely. So yeah, I could have been in a relationship by now, but if I can say that there is something, because ain't nobody perfect. One of my flaws is I don't stick around long. I'm out. I'm not gonna stick around and wait on shit to go. If I see one red flag, I am out. I'm gone. Or it depends on the nature of the relationship. So let's say, for instance, because there was that period, because remember, I was married for 18 years. So there was that period where I didn't want to settle down. I just wanted to kind of like have some fun. But then in the midst of that, you end up catching feelings. So if I know that the nature of the relationship has changed on my end, and although we have said and agreed that this is what it's going to be, I'm out. Because ain't no need to be. Right. I'm not going to be that female that be like, hey, I know we've been hanging out for a minute, and I know we said we weren't going to settle down, but I'm catching feelings. No, that's not going to be me. Oh, and here's another thing. I got a lot of guy qualities.
So that's you think that's a negative towards a lot of guys?
That's a negative. It's a negative because I can hang out with the fellas and chop it up with the fellas, and sometimes that's a negative because I know how.
But guess what though? But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that ain't got nothing to do with you. That got something to do with the person that's trying to get with you, right? They gotta understand. They gotta understand. Now, don't wear that. Don't wear that hat. Because I'm gonna tell you why you should wear it. Is because you have to be confident. I myself, I'm gonna give you a good example, and I'm trying to be straight. I'm that guy, or I've been that guy that I like big butts, and I cannot lie. No, but
Hey.
no, no, and for me, I've never like really. Tasha, are you there?
Yes. Hmm.
You're like, okay, there you go. So mine's is like I've never really cared about what whoever I dated. I don't care what they wear. I'm not that type of guy that really I'm not I'm secure with who I'm with, right? Regardless of what you put on now. I mean, you can't be, you know, you can't just be out here with your nipples showing or anything like that. You know, I don't accept that. But and then the person I'm with typically knows what I would or would not say. She'll think about it before she probably, leave the room. But if she does it and I see it, I might say something funny and keep it moving. I'm very secure within myself. So anybody that's not secure with you, having those guy-like qualities, they're not for you anyway. So it don't even really matter. So you can take that off the table. But the biggest one is the runner though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one that okay, if you've identified like in your runner meter while you was running 100 meters on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with that now? 10 being you still running.
Man, that's a good question. Where am I with it now? So I know what I want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I meet someone and they don't want the same thing that I want, I'm just not going to stick around. You know, I'm not wasting any more time. You know, I know what I want. I want to be in a committed relationship. So, I'm not wasting any more time. I, if a person does not want the same thing that I want, then there's no
Okay.
need for us to continue in communication.
Okay, so move that guy out of the way. What about the guy who you like and he like, and you start to lace your track shoes up, right? What about that scenario? Like, what are you doing to make sure that you keep those sneakers up in the closet? Because you've
Uh,
identified the problem. What's the solution?
right. Well, here's the deal. I haven't ran across a person that makes me want to put the track shoes on.
Okay, that's fair. But until you, guess what? The universe might not give that to you until you go ahead and be able to try to pluck that out before somebody comes. You may be blocking that because you may not have addressed the running situation though.
Right,
So let's
right.
reverse
So,
it.
okay. So there's the 80-20 rule, right? Are you familiar with the 80-20 rule?
Go ahead and give us the 80-20 move. And I'm gonna tell you what you just did too. I asked you one particular question you never answered. The detailed woman. I've talked about the detailed woman. You asked him a question and go all the way around to give me my answer. My first original answer was between 1 and 10. Where are you when it comes to running? 10 being you still running. Let's get back to that, and then I want
Oh,
you to get
okay,
into your
okay. So,
80-20
okay,
rule.
all right. I'm not running anymore. Once I find the person that is my 80, I'm staying. I'm locked in.
Okay,
I'm
so
locked in.
and on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you when it comes to actually the actual running? Between 1 and 10. I'm not getting off of it. Between 1 and
One.
10.
I'm not
So
running.
you're
I'm
not running no
done.
more. So you're done. Okay, so
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
so
done.
now notice you just said you done now. Okay, so now you have put it out to the universe that you're done. Great.
Right.
So guess what? The universe is getting ready to test you. And so when the universe tests you, you will know when you've done when you are tested. So I hear you,
Okay.
but I still ask you too, what did you do to make sure you don't run? Like how did you get there? Because listen, this platform is also about not just me here talking. Sometimes people can learn from other people. So like
Right.
so someone else that's a runner, like what can you say that you used that make sure they can use as a tool, take it out your toolbox, give it to them so they won't be runners. Like what did you do? What's your testimony?
Don't waste your time. Okay.
Okay.
Don't waste your time because what I was doing is I was wasting my time. You know, it was someone that I knew that I wasn't completely on board with. And I wasted time trying to see if they would could be what I'm looking for. You know, don't
Okay, so
waste your
what did you
time.
do? So what did you do to not be a runner? What did you do? How did you get to that point?
Well, Mark, it's hard for me to answer that because I haven't ran across
Okay.
anybody that I didn't run from. So,
So guess what? When you go camping, right? You got to make sure that you pack the tent in the car because when you get to the camping, you might not even have the tent. So here's what I'm saying is that I hear what you're saying, and that makes sense. But at the same time, you can't see where you at by testing others. You have to test yourself first. And the best way to test yourself is to understand the answer, right? So the test is that. So before I get out in the dating world, I can say, I'm gonna give you a great example, right? I can say I'm a runner, right? I'm gonna use you, right? So as a runner, what I decided to do not to run is to one, have confidence within myself, right? That I'm making the right decision, right? I have to make sure I balance myself out to hear from myself, to encourage myself. So at that point, when I see something, I know it has a greater probability of being good for me. Yes, there may be something bad, right? But if that's something that I want, then what I'm gonna have to do is get into the mindset is that okay, if that's what I want, which I've used my intuition and my discernment to figure out if that's who I want to be with. Now that I've used that and it's been already concrete, now I gotta say, okay, what's gonna prevent me from actually running? So what prevents me from actually running is going to be the fact that I know this is for me. This person is not going to hurt me. I know this is what God has put in front of me. So why don't this job just take a chance at it, right? So, and
right.
once you do that, guess what happens? Then you know if you really truly pass the test. So when I asked you from 1 to 10, for you to say one, there's no way you can do that because when I asked you how did you get here, you should have already had that laid out.
That is true. But the reason why I said one is because once I meet the person, then I'm in it. You know, once I meet my person, then I'm in it. I'm not going to run. I understand that every day is not going to be a good day. You know, I understand that sometimes we got to be in the mud together, you know,
Right,
and figure these
right,
pieces out. And I'm with that. I'm here for that. So when
right.
I say one, whereas before I'm like, shit, I'm out. You know, this
Mhm.
shit ain't working for me. I'm out. I see the red. I see a little bitty red. What I think is a red flag. I'm out. Where now I'm more selective on who I'm going to give my time to, and because I'm more selective and I know what I want, you know,
Mhm.
and we have to be in agreement that this is what we want together. And then I'm
Mhm.
in it, you know, I'm in it. I'm in it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna work it out because we're gonna have an open lines of communication and I'm gonna be here for it. Whereas before I wasn't. I didn't want to open up the lines of communication. I wasn't really honest with how I feel. What I've learned is that you have to be honest with what you feel, come what may. You know, whether that person feels the same way that you do, you still got to put it out there, you know. And that's why I say that on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm a one, because before I wouldn't put it out there. You know, I would be afraid to let a person know how I really feel. You know, so now I'm able to let a person know how I feel and let the chips fall where they may. And sometimes it doesn't. The last time I did that, it didn't work in my favor. So
Mhm.
with that being said, I'm okay with that. You know, because
Right.
honesty is the best policy.
So do you have confidence within yourself? Is you do have confidence within yourself, right? I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be
yeah,
funny.
I do. I
Okay.
do.
So you
I
have
do.
confidence in yourself. So guess what? If you have that confidence in yourself, just a reminder, just to make sure, just to fill in that middle part, I would probably say to everybody out there who that was a runner, the number one thing that we can say is that you should have confidence within yourself. Let's start there, right? Everybody, like,
Right.
that's step one. Have confidence in yourself that whatever decision that you're doing is going to be the best, and we don't know if it's the worst till later on. That would be the first thing that I would think, right? That's how, if
Mm.
I was giving somebody some advice, I would say, well, no, I know that you are a runner. The only thing I can tell to you is that make sure you're balanced. This is me, right? Telling this person, make sure you're balanced. Once you're balanced yourself out, understand who and what you are as a spiritual being, not a human being, and that whatever is brought in front of you at that time, once you use your discernment and once you use your intuition, and it feels right, once you're balanced and you use those two, whatever is in front of you is good for you. It's going to be nothing I should be afraid of. You see what I'm saying? So why run? Because this is what I wanted. I've been wanting a relationship. I've been wanting someone I be with. Now you ask for it. Now, since I've asked for it and those things line up, guess what? I ain't going nowhere. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Like that's if I was sitting across from each other. If I was to say that would be my advice to someone, maybe not even directly to you, but even though you feel that way on one end, because it's two spectrums. I see you as a runner. You say you're no longer a runner, so the feeler would be what? How did I get to that part? How did I get over here? You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I see what you're saying, but for
Right.
me, how did I get to there? Is by first and foremost knowing what I want. You know, Be-
Okay. Great. Great.
yeah.
Great. So your advice would be to someone. When I asked you earlier, what would your advice? That would be that would be it.
Hmm.
You want what you want. I use me for an example, but that's where I was going. You know,
Yeah.
understanding I want what I want, and so this is what I am receiving. I have the confidence that it's going to work. It's not going to hurt me. It's going to make me feel good. This is for me. Let's move forward.
Right.
Right?
And
Okay.
not only knowing what you want. Now that I understand the question better, not only knowing what you want, but believing that you deserve that.
Right. That's what confidence comes in at again, because you still got
Hmm.
to have some what belief. When you believe in stuff, that means you become confident in it. Right? If you
And the
believe in someone, I'm very confident. I believe in you, Tasha, as a good person. So I have
right,
the confidence that you're gonna show it.
right, yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So they do go hand in hand. I'm not saying what you're
yeah.
saying is not wrong, but they go hand in hand. It's almost they're like A and B, right? In my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Right. All right.
Interchangeable. Right, yeah.
Very interchangeable.
Yeah.
Right.
So, with knowing what you want and believing that you deserve that, so what happens is when you know that you deserve that, people will tell you that what you want don't exist. So you have to believe in your heart that what you want does exist, because this is what
Mhm.
happens. Like with me, what end up happening is people tell me that monogamous relationships don't exist anymore. That's what people try to tell me. But if you know
I
in
used
your
to
heart
my
of
mom
hearts,
was, the
huh?
emoji with the zipper on it. The emoji with the zipper on it. That's what I got on right now. But go ahead and finish that part.
No, unzip it, because this is
No,
a
no, no, no. I don't want to
learning
unzip it. I
thing
don't want to unzip it.
in life
No, I don't
thing.
want. No, I don't want to unzip it. There's nothing I have to say about it. I just
So,
said
so people
I
try to
laugh. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So people try to tell me that, Tasha, that shit don't exist anymore. You know, and they try to even equate our age era to it. Men have a plethora of women to pick from, and with this new awakening that everybody's in, knowing that our ancestors, they didn't have monogamous relationships. They were married to multiple people, that multiple women. They were okay with being in a relationship, and women were okay with being sister wives and things of that nature. But I just want to believe that there is got to be somebody out there that believes in monogamous relationships.
Right.
But people, the fad is, well, I'm not even going to say it's a fad, but the thing is that's of old.
That's of old.
Hmm.
Right. So do some old things still apply today though? I'm not talking about the monogamy. I'm just saying in general, some old things still apply today.
I know,
No,
and I believe
okay.
that, and that's what
Okay.
I'm
So
standing on.
right. Okay. So and guess what? I'm not gonna get into the whole monogamy thing. I got a thing I'm gonna do on monogamy and why men cheat and all these things. The date night investigates. I'm actually getting all the paperwork for it. There's paperwork I'm gonna put lay out in front. So I'm gonna leave that out for right now. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, and again, I'm not. This is my disclaimer. I'm not saying it's for me. I'm just saying I just understand it. But for what my understanding was, whether it was now or later, then under our and under our ancestors, there was polygamy before monogamy. I'm just gonna
That is true,
we're gonna leave it.
and I know that. Hmm.
We're gonna leave it at
Historically,
that.
that is
Right.
correct.
Historically,
That's
right.
correct.
I mean, so that's why I say, do sometimes some of the old still apply for today? Some cases possibly. That I'm not even going to discuss right now. I'm gonna lay it all out. I'm gonna let y'all determine that at a later time. So
Right. Yeah.
but I understand what you're saying. I mean, it can be
Yeah.
very disheartening to know that you would want to be in a situation where you and someone, but the other someone may want someone. You know what I mean? I get it.
In
In
addition
addition,
to
that's
me.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Your someone wants someone, right?
In
And I
addition.
can
Yeah.
right. That's an addition. The other one's to someone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
feels as though they can love all the same. We're a unit. They buy into the concept that we are a unit. You know, it's no I love you more than her. It's no that I'm cheating. We all are in a unit. They buy into that concept that we're all in a unit. And it's just hard for me to wrap my head around that. you know
right,
in my heart of hearts, I want my own man. And
right,
the fact that I want my own man, and the fact that I'm probably as natural as it's going to get, and the fact that I can fit into probably any genre that can be somewhat intimidating, and the fact that I have a history of being a runner, that's why I'm still single.
right.
That's
I
why I'm
get it. I
single.
get it. That's part of the fear that you was talking about, right? It's part of the fear. The monogamy, that's part of the fear. You can definitely dump in that basket. So I'm gonna say this. Again, I don't really want to dig into the whole monogamy polygamy thing because I'm the one like to show. I'm a show you guy, so I'm gonna definitely go back and revisit that particular topic. But
Mhm.
I can definitely say this: there are monogamous men out there, right? I'm gonna definitely say there are monogamous men. But also I don't. Well, the thing I don't, for me, I don't even allow is to it's like a horse with blinders on when it comes to this world, right? The things that
Mhm.
I'm focused on, I'm focusing on that particular thing, right? Anything
Mhm.
outside of the thing that I'm focusing on, I see it out of my peripherals, but I ain't really paying no attention, right? Because what I'm
Mhm.
trying to do is I am trying to continue to forge toward the things that I desire, right? So whatever I thinketh, whatever it beeth, from the book of Mark. And that's MARQ to be exact. But so I myself, regardless of what goes on around the world, I get what I want. I may have to go through some struggles. I might have to go through some hard stuff, but guess what? It's never going to allow me to shake me off my path, and that includes having someone that may be monogamous, right? So put your mindset in the things you want, and you will attract it. Best believe. So let's do this. Speaking of which, and we got a few more moments for sure. One of the things too I did mention I want to bring out. This is definitely an opportunity. I'm talking about mistakes and all, right? I don't have mistakes and all, you know, honesty, whatever experiences. What one of the things I did kind of mention, and I kind of put it out there that we at one point dated, right? This
Right.
was probably about what, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I can tell everybody out there that even though it didn't move to anything else, and we'll kind of dig in that a little bit. I'm gonna allow Tasha to kind of lay it out a little bit. We'll both can lay it out for you. But one of the things I can definitely say is that this is just an example how two people that were actually have respect for each other, that we're still able to this day, even though we've been through our situations to get here, we were able to
Right.
kind of circle back and still be friends or whatnot,
Right.
So what would you say as far as your experience with me when it comes to dating? Like, kind of what was that like? I never asked you that. This is the first time we've ever talked about that.
Wow. Okay, this is what we're
Like,
doing.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we're doing. I put it out there. I mean,
I mean, how real do you want me to be?
I mean,
How
you
out there do
know,
you want?
you know what? I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you.
Okay. Okay.
Hold
Okay. I'll take a drink behind this one.
You was praying to the gods for that one. They give you enough time to go talk. Trying to
Gather
get you.
myself.
Well, you put up a prayer so quick.
See,
Remember, think
the
for a second.
universe is working in my favor.
Right, go ahead though. I want to go ahead and hear this though. Let's go ahead and get
So,
this out of the way.
so let me just say this: we
Uh,
met at a pivotal point in my life, right?
right.
Um, I had just been divorced for a few years, a couple years. You know, I got divorced in 2016. We met in what, 2019?
No, it was after the pandemic. It wasn't no 2019. It was the pandemic. It was after the yeah. It was the pandemic because I'm gonna tell. Okay, watch this.
It
See,
was it was during the pandemic. It was
right,
like
excuse me.
2019.
No. Pandemic was 2020. Remember?
No, I thought it was 2019, but okay.
Right. Okay.
Mm,
Matter of fact, let me tell you how G I am. Right. I'm finna do a G move. We met over the social media. Right.
mhm,
You
mhm,
were at the beach. Okay.
mhm.
You at the beach. Right.
Yeah. And 2019,
So
that's how I know it's 2019.
no, I was married in 20. I didn't get divorced in 2020. Tasha, what are you talking about?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, I guess 2020. 1 year.
It was 2020. It was a pandemic.
Okay.
Matter of fact, because
2020.
right, it was 2020 because during the time I was up there visiting, we were limited. Right, which okay, we've established it. Right, we've established the year was 2020 because
2020.
I was divorced April of 2020, so it had to be. So I'm gonna put you on point. Right, I'm gonna show you how point I am on. Right, it was actually around October, November. It was cold somewhat.
No, it was
So it was around that
September.
time. Thank you. I was 1 month off. I said October. You said 20. First of all, it was 2020, right?
Okay.
You said
In
2019.
September.
All right. Okay,
Right.
September.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, and you met me at a pivotal moment. I'm trying to figure these pieces out. I'm pulling my life together after a divorce. So I'm spending time with my family and things of that nature. And I reached out to you because on Facebook. So we met on Facebook. And both of us had established that, hey, we both came out of something traumatic. We're not trying to make anything serious out of this. Let's just enjoy each other's company and let's just go
Honesty.
with it.
Honesty.
Okay.
Go
And
ahead.
and and I was like, okay, yeah, and you were like, okay, yeah, this is it. Yeah, let's just enjoy each other's company and let's just go from there. So when we hung out, I mean, it was cool. We hung out, we had a great time. We had a really good time. We connected on so many different levels. I thank you for being the person that you were during that time because I was going through like a spiritual journey, trying to
I
figure
remember.
religion and spirituality out.
Right. We
And it's
had
not that
long
you,
talks. We had long
yes.
talks.
hmm
Right.
And I appreciate the fact that you didn't say, "Girl, you crazy. This is what you need." Instead, you're like, "Hey, why don't you go look at this and then come back and let's talk about it." And so I will go and research it, and I will come back and we will talk about it. And then you would say, "Okay, that's good. That's good. You on point. How about this? Go and look at this, and then let's talk about it." And so with that, I was I learned a lot, and I'm sapiosexual, right? And so the fact that you were giving me so much food for thought, I was just very intrigued. I was so intrigued, and we enjoyed each other's company so much. We would get together, we would hang out, we have a really great time. But the nature of the relationship changed for me because I ended up developing feelings. Because I'm sapiosexual. You were feeding me this food for thought. I was going back and researching, and I was learning these different things. And I'm like, damn, this dude is smart and cute. Shit, I'm in here. So, I had these feelings that I couldn't contain, and I'm normally a G and can hold it down, but I couldn't. So, and I was like, shit, I gotta get out of this because remember, I'm a runner, I'm a track star. So,
Right.
because I changed the nature of the relationship, I felt like I needed to get out of it because this is not what we agreed on. We agreed on, hey, no strings attached. Both of us are just coming out of something serious and we're not trying to get serious right now. And because in my heart, it changed and I wanted more. And I respected your position and where you were and not ready to give more. I respected that. And so I felt at that time the only way for me to remedy that is to get out, run, whatever I gotta say to get out of this situation. Let me do it. Let me get out because I'm developing feelings for a person that I said I wasn't supposed to be developing feelings for, and that's what I did.
Right. Right. So I can definitely tell you, okay, just hearing that, right? Um, to me, that sounds like you said something like, "Oh, we didn't agree upon this." True, but here's the thing: I think that, and just my own opinion, I feel that I always came to the situation where I was very transparent, right? Very open, right? Very open, right? Very. I think, and if I'm wrong, just help me out. I think I created a safe space by being transparent and very open and very we had very a lot of thought provoking conversations,
That's
etc.
true.
I think that with those characteristics, I think that should have been a conversation,
That
right?
is true. Yeah.
I opened the door, right? It's only so much. It's only so much I can do as an individual, right? And I think the most important thing that I hear, and I'm not saying like I'm not perfect. We're gonna get into that part, but I can definitely say that that particular characteristic, I would say again, not saying I was perfect. I would definitely say that that's the leadership skills that a lot of women probably desire, right?
I agree.
Uh, bit that's leadership, right? That's
Right.
leadership,
I
right?
agree. Mhm.
Right. So what the results are the results. So I can definitely say I just feel that in that arena, a conversation should have been had as far as where you were, where you thought was going. Because again, if a man coming off of a marriage, you know, freshly divorced, freshly divorced, um, I'm still staying the course, of what the original
Mhm.
plan was, right? Not
Right.
saying that it might not have shifted, but I'm moving the course of what we said because me per se, I'm a words of affirmation dude. What you say is what I roll with, right? Until told otherwise, right? So I was
Right.
never told otherwise. So, but I'm not saying this. Is definitely not saying your fault, whatever else. I'm not saying this, but we're just having a real conversation about it.
Right.
I can
Right.
definitely tell you that this is how I see it. This is what this is what I feel that was missed for whatever reason. This ain't your fault. Everybody was in the state. Everybody, like, I can wear that. Everybody was where they were, right?
Right.
So I understand that. So with that being said, and like you say, you can slice me. You know, you can cut me if you want. What would you say? Because I'm a man of balance. What would you say that some of the biggest things that I could have, that I didn't, that made you feel uncomfortable? What was the negative impact that I gave? Because I wasn't perfect. I know I couldn't have been perfect. You know what I mean? So what are some of the things you saw that I could have done better, or that I bought that wasn't too good?
Well, Mark, I can't really say because we had a level of communication that was so deeper than what I was used to. So it's not anything that I can say that you could have done different. I am going to say that that was my fault because I wasn't I wasn't developed enough to express my feelings. I didn't express my feelings. So in my mind, we said that we went into the thing like, hey, you're here, I'm here, we're here together. Neither one of us are looking for anything serious. And so we're just going to enjoy each other's company and just that's just it. But what shifted is I shifted. I shifted and I developed feelings. And so it's not that anything that you've done, it wasn't anything that you said. You got to remember, I was a runner. So
Right,
by nature, that's my first
right,
instinct. If shit don't look right or shit don't feel right, I'm gonna run. And that's what I did, you know.
right,
And what
right,
I can't even say that it was anything that you've done, you know.
right,
It was
right.
me. I was like, shit,
Mhm.
I gotta get out of this. I done changed up the game. And remember, I got some man qualities. So I'm like, shit, you can't change up the game. It is what it is. And then when it is what it is, became, dang, I can I can see,
Right.
my feelings shifting. Oh shit, I can't shift. I gotta go. I can't shift. I gotta go. And that's what I did. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm out. I'm out.
Right, 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 right. And see, and I definitely don't want to. Some things I think that definitely needs to be, and I will probably never mention you, and I'm sure you may not ever mention it to me, but I'll just say this, and we both are aware of this without even going into that. Um, those things could have been handled differently,
I
right?
agree.
How it unraveled after you felt that way could have been definitely done better,
I should have been
right?
honest. That's what I
Right.
should have done.
I wasn't going to. I wasn't
I mean,
going
we
to
putting it
do
out
that.
there. We putting it out there,
No.
right? I am. I just should have been
Okay, go
honest.
ahead.
I should
Go
have
ahead.
given you an opportunity to say,
Right.
well, hey, you know what? We said this is what it is. Now you just switching up
Right.
on me. Or I should have given you an opportunity to say, well, hey, you know what? I'm shifting with you. Let's figure this shit out. But I didn't give you that
Right.
opportunity because
Right.
in my mind, I'm like, hey, I got to get up out of here. You know, I I should what going forward, what I've learned from that is
Right.
you got to be honest with how you feel. You have got
Right.
to be honest with how you feel and let the chips fall where they may. And you got to be able to put your big girl, I'm talking to the women, you got to be able to put your big girl panties on and accept whatever he has to say. You have to say, hey, I know this is what we said we were going to do, but man, I'm feeling you. And it shifted. There's a shifting
Right.
in my heart and in
Right.
my spirit. And
Mhm.
you have to have your big girl panties on for him to say, hey, I'm gonna shift with you, or
Mhm.
hey, that's not where I'm at.
Right. Right.
And the beauty in that is you won't waste your time. You
Right.
and if that is the case, you both can respectfully agree that we want different things. Let's move on. Let's either
Right.
go in separate directions and agree that we want different things, or we in this thing together. Let's figure it out because we both have shifted. But you owe yourself I'm speaking to the women, you owe yourself that, because there should be such a love with of yourself to want what you want, and there is someone that wants what you want. Now you can waste your time and be with somebody that don't want it, but you won't know that until you say it.
Until you say it. Right. So I'm gonna ask you this question, and then we can definitely move on. Uh Explain to me. I have an idea, and if you can share it if you want, it's totally up to you. I'm definitely gonna go, but tell me what doing that. How did you feel after you realized whatever that was you did, and whatever however it rolled? How did it make you feel eternally? What was your big? What stuck out to you the most? How did you feel that it ended up like during the process of after it happened? How did you feel? How did it make you feel? The decision. How did it make you feel?
For about 30 minutes, I
Go
felt
ahead.
a sense of relief.
Okay,
I was like,
about 30 minutes.
whew, I dodged that bullet. Whew, glad I got
Right.
that off my chest. And then the next day, I was like, what the fuck have I done? What have I done? And so I had to live with that. And it
Right.
gnawed at me like a wound. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know how an untreated wound gets, right? So if you have an untreated wound,
She's a nurse, y'all. So listen. Go
you
ahead.
have an untreated wound, you didn't clean it, you didn't
Right.
properly bandage it, you didn't
Right.
apply any type of triple antibiotic ointment to it, you just let that thing fester. And what happens is it festers into an infection. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a gnawing, gaping infection that turns into pain.
Right.
And then you're septic. And so when you feel
What's
like
that?
you
Clinical.
septic
What
is
is that?
when septic is when you have an infection that has entered into your bloodstream.
Mm.
It becomes a matter of life or death. Okay, and you know you need to do something, because if you
Mm.
don't do something, you're going to die. You are going to die. That's what septic means. It's entered. The infection has entered into your bloodstream, and so once that wound became septic and it entered into my bloodstream, I had to do something about it. I had to reach out. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Shit, I need to clean this thing
Oh,
up,
listen, boy.
because I needed you to be the penicillin, but
Ah,
I needed you to be the IV
right.
penicillin. I need you to be the IV antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I needed. So, and you
Right.
were the only one that provided that medication.
Mm.
But
That's
because I didn't get that, I was dying. I was like, shit, I got it. And I tried every method.
die. I'm sorry. I'll do respect, Doctor. What? Your ass is live right now, damn it.
No,
We're not gonna feed into
no, I'm
that.
not. You gotta remember, that's how I felt. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
how I felt.
I did ask that question. I can't discount that, but you
Please
know.
don't. Yeah, at that moment, that's how I felt. I felt like I was reaching out for the only person that can provide the prescription for the treatment that will heal me, and I
Mm.
didn't get that, and so I was left to self-medicate. Okay, and so in
Mm.
my self-medication, I promised myself that I wouldn't do that again. If I feel some type of way, if I enter into a relationship and if I feel like the nature of the relationship has changed, I'm going to voice that and let the chips fall where they may. Granted, that person may not feel the way that I feel, and I have to be okay with that, and I have to move on. But I at least
Right.
owe
That's a
them the
lesson learned.
respect to
Mm.
say, hey, I know this is what we said, but this is how I feel.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you how I felt. Right. I'm gonna tell you how I felt because there was a period of silence for me after
A
that. But
long period. Shit was
I'm
long.
not gonna get into that. Listen. Here's at the end of the day, regardless of how I felt, one of the biggest things is that I am a forgiver, right? Because I know I am. I am with flaw as well, and sometimes I may want to be forgiven. It did not. I can separate the situation from the person, so I had to separate my emotions, um, and I had to be separate in order for me to get to a space I was really. I didn't really think I was going to ever talk to you again, to be honest with you. But there was some with me. There was some within me that was like, you know what? All in all, even though we're not in that space, Tasha is a great, wonderful person. And I was right. I had confidence in that because even after that, after we decided to talk, you walked in your role as far as really helping me with date night, and I definitely appreciate it with that. You helped me schedule people from Arkansas. Is the reason why Little Rock, we coming like Dion say. So I can definitely say I made the right decision, but I can definitely tell you during that moment, there was a lot of I think the biggest thing for me was I felt that there was you insulted my intelligence. Right. I think that if I was I think that if I was those things you say that I was, and believe me, best believe me, when you were saying those things as far as would you feel like I didn't bring anything, I'm gonna definitely say that even that time I'm trying to figure out. I know I did something. I know I just can't think of it off the top that I brought negatively because I'm not gonna put all the weight on it on you per se, but I can definitely tell you that because of all that, one of the things that it made me feel like she insulted my intelligence. I can't believe she told me this, knowing that I knew that, right? And so when you first reached out to me, you told me how you felt, and you felt like how you felt. I looked at my phone. I was like, I answered you, and then it took me about a day to let you know how I felt, and then how I felt was I like I said, I felt like you out of everything in the world, I could have probably forgiven anything out of the world. The fact that you insulted my intelligence because of what you told me was the biggest thing for me. That was the biggest hurdle because I felt like I laid what I laid out being a genuine person, and that's what I got back in return. Right, a person that was just open about everything I had going on, what I needed to do, all those things that we say we desire, all those things were delivered, and then this, but what's so funny? All of this we can speak was September, October, November, December. All of this happened in the 4-month time frame, which I was unaware of. You know what I mean? But going back to how I felt, I think what took me so long, I had to really get over that hurdle of of the I was just insulted. I'm just gonna say that. And it took me a minute. It took me a minute to get to that point where I had to separate two. So here we are now. It's 2023, getting ready to 2024. And what's funny thing about it was I think how I broke the ice, how I decided to not be such an asshole. Um, was it was a New Year's Eve text message. That's how we broke the ice. You remember that, right? You would say Happy New Year. I think this broke the ice. We've been straight and cool ever since. I have no issues with you. I think this conversation is definitely an example of how two people can actually get to a point where they are cool, even though it didn't work the way it could have worked. But at the same, now everybody don't deserve a chance to be over. You don't need to be friends with everybody. Like some people just don't even deserve your space. Man, woman, dog, cat, rat, dog, toad, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you have a genuine person and it just didn't work out, you don't have to be cool with them. But sometimes people can add another type of value in your life, right?
Right.
It's not always about, oh, we ain't together, leave it alone. I mean, we all need each other. We're all connected. The world is a network. I say it's a network. We're at some point we're gonna need someone, and that someone can be someone you possibly could have been with, but if it didn't work out, hey, it is what it is.
Right.
They can work in a capacity that can be beneficial for both parties. You know what I mean? So that's where we are. So
Yeah.
anything else you want to add to that before we move on, or you want to say? Because I'm still trying to figure out. I know it was something that because I don't. I'm always about trying to. You know me. You know how I am. I'm always trying to figure out what can I do to be better. You know
That
that.
is true.
So
Yeah.
when I think about
Only
it,
thing,
I'm gonna call you and
right.
say this is what
The
I
only
did.
thing that I, right. The only thing that I can think is if you felt a different type of way than what we originally talked about, if you'd have shared that with me to where I could understand it. Because you may have shared that with me, but I didn't receive it. If you and you were so good at giving me nibbits, giving me nuggets to where I can digest them to where I could receive it. So you had the ability to give it to me to where I could understand it and receive it, and it'd be planted on good soil. So the only thing that I can think that you probably could have done different is if I'm not saying that you did, if you felt a different type of
Right.
way, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you should have told me or
Right. I
made me feel
got it.
secure in the sense that, hey, I know this is what we said we was gonna do, but this is how I feel right now.
Yeah.
To where I
I think.
could get it.
Right.
We kind of had those conversations, kind of sorta, but it wasn't to where it wasn't a nugget to where I can get it because I was so used to you giving me nuggets to where
Mm-hmm.
I can digest them.
Right. Right. I think if I was really to dig into my head for a moment, I think for me there was two sides where I needed things and time for me, but
Right,
I made time for you know us dating. So I can't really tell you that I was even I just for me I live in the moment, right?
right.
And the moment I feel like I need to speak up is typically when I speak up, right?
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
that's how I am now. So maybe I wasn't like that before, but I can definitely say if that is what it was, I probably would have um relayed that message because I'm gonna call you on a out of the blue and still to
Right.
this day sometime I might just call you out of the blue just to throw some out there in the atmosphere and walk off, walk off
Yeah.
Homer. You know what I mean? We may not talk for another 2-3 months or whatever, but we somehow find within contact like we are today. So I want to just come on and kind of talk to you about the whole date nighting thing. As far as the platform,
Right.
I want to also talk about that. You are the first and may not because this is interesting. You know what I mean? I think this is good dialogue to people to learn off of. But I can definitely tell you this. This can be definitely another way that we can bring solutions to problems when it comes to dating. Helping to also understand. I think this whole um session today was more so about accountability. I also wanted to do better. Again, these are opinionated things. I'm not, again, like I said before, I always open. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm not a relationship guru. I'm not none of that. I'm a dude with a mic and an opinion and a platform. That's it. You know what I mean? That's
That's
all. That's all
right.
I am. And
That's all we
so,
need sometimes.
right, that's all you need. It's sometimes like the
Right.
real talk. I'm not coming from no clinical way. I mean, it is for what it is. I'm not knocking that stuff. I like
Right.
real conversation. And anytime I say anything on this platform is usually from my experience. My experience have been experiencing quite a few women, unfortunately, and sometimes fortunately. But so I'm using a lot of that. Also, getting ready to be the tender age of 50 in a couple of months. I am definitely at a place where I'm more of a thinker, level-headed, balanced guy, much more balanced. Still trying to even be more balanced. So I
Right.
can definitely tell you with that being said, I want to make sure these conversations are balanced as well. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
That's very important that we project that. And either with Roxy earlier, hey, what's the good, what's the bad? You know, let's figure out how to not to get here
That's
together.
good.
Because I don't have the answers. I don't, but we can come up with the answers together. Two heads are better than one. You know what I mean?
Right.
When two or
Right.
more are gathered, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? We have the
Right.
energy and the power to
Make it
change and
happen.
move things. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm definitely on board. We're gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna also have I just talked to someone else that I dated some years ago. And I'm gonna give a shout out to her because the idea was kind of sparked a little bit because she wanted to come on and say, hey, why don't you just have me come on? You know, we dated back in time, but we dated 2005 or something, but we still cool. It's to
Right.
see the pattern though, right?
But you know what? That's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Right.
If you can be cool with people you used to date, then that's a big thing
And
because
not
a lot of
everybody,
times
and not
not
everybody.
everybody can do that.
Right.
You know, normally if you date, hell, you may as well be dead. To me,
Yeah.
you know, that is the norm. But it's not if you have an understanding, if you come from a genuine place of respect, you know, and so
Right.
that's a big thing to be friends because ironically, I'm friends with a lot of people that I date. As a matter of fact, a guy that I used to date is one of my best friends. One of my
Yeah.
best friends, you know,
Yeah,
so
I can definitely, yeah, I can definitely. I say knowing you now for a couple of years, I can definitely say that. I mean, that's only because you wrestle in the mud and deer hunt. Hey,
I
yeah,
know, right?
when y'all have
Shoot
opportunity, look at.
guns.
Hey, look, we have opportunity. Look at Tasha's page, Latasha Divine Jenkins, right?
Jenkins, yeah.
Jenkins, right? And so, you'll see her hunting with her son.
Yeah,
You'll see her mudding, and I still
right.
look. I was supposed to come up there and go mudding anyway, right? But I
Yeah.
never, I
Hey,
haven't came yet.
say less.
I got hurt.
Say less.
I got hurt. I got
That's
hurt.
right.
I
Mm-hmm.
got hurt. So I'm definitely gonna go mudding with y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I saw videos of it. I don't know how many people used to show up to y'all mudding events. How many people typically?
At least 1,000. At
And all
least.
of them riding in the mud, and all of them dirty,
All of them in
Tasha
the
dirty.
mud.
You know what I'm
All of
saying?
us.
And
We
they have
grilling.
ball
We're listening to
right.
music. We got the drinks going. We night
Country
ride.
ass.
I know it's fun. I love it.
All right. All right, man. I know. I love it for you, man. I appreciate you. You continue to be that, and we're definitely gonna, like I say, we locked in. We good. You know, all due
Yeah,
respect. You know,
yeah.
we're gonna keep
Hey, and
doing
you
what we
guys
do.
look forward to the singles events that we're going to have in
Right.
Arkansas. It's going to be none like no other. We're going to have conversation. We're going to have a platform to where if you
Right.
want to meet somebody, you're going to meet them
Right. Arkansas. Arkansas. I'm
in
telling you, like
Arkansas, baby.
Arkansas have been one of my biggest supporters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get inboxes from people from Arkansas. People from Arkansas asking when I'm coming up. We still trying to build the platform. We're gonna definitely be there. We're gonna do our first event. Also,
Yeah.
we're not just limited to Arkansas. Any other place that wants to put something together, we're gonna actually probably even do a date night live from Arkansas, a date night live from
We
wherever,
will.
Omaha.
Hmm.
I'm going to
Hmm.
Omaha, Montana,
Yeah.
Timbuktu, wherever we need to
We
get to. We're gonna
nationwide.
definitely try to this gonna be some different stuff. Also, real quick. Well, first let me start by saying this, Tasha, I do appreciate your time. I'm about to end it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show off. We'll talk. I appreciate you coming on. I mean, like I said, you've been one of the biggest supporters. And is anything you have in particular you would like to plug, or what you got going on for a second? I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. Anything
Well,
in
we
particular?
talked about the speed dating events that's going to occur in Arkansas.
Right,
I just want to encourage everyone to pay attention to these platforms. I think that this is a much needed conversation that we need to have, and people in their 40s, 50s, late 30s, they need this. If you're single and you're wondering why, I think that this is a great platform to you to first and foremost be honest with yourself. You have to examine yourself to see what is it that I'm doing, because that's where it starts. If you're looking for love,
right,
you have to first examine yourself and see what am I doing to self-sabotage, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
then once you get that piece, you hone in onto that piece and you fix that, because I believe that that is the problem. We are at this age, if we're not in a relationship, we probably are dealing with some traumas. So we have to first and foremost deal with those traumas. And this platform allows us to first identify those traumas that we may have, you
Right.
know, and then heal from that.
Right. Absolutely. I
Hmm.
definitely agree with that. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out, Tasha. We'll definitely talk. Okay.
Okay. All
All right.
righty. You guys
Appreciate you.
have a good night. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. All right, good people. I want to just kind of end the night. Just kind of do a quick recap. Just let you guys know that I'm not. And again, I want that last conversation. I definitely don't want the conversation to be like everybody don't deserve your energy. We're not saying that, but if you see someone that can possibly be a tool for you, um, why not? But again, if you're in relationships or whatnot, I'm not saying you need to keep your old people around you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying though, like especially when especially when you're single, or even if you have someone that believes in who you are and confident that you will do right by them. If it's okay with the person you with, and it may not be okay, and that's okay. Then I would definitely say that why not have that person around? But again, if the person you with is uncomfortable with it, have the conversation. You may have to let that person go. I'm just being honest. Other than that, just a reminder: we will be doing like I said, I got the regular date night interviews. We got date night online live. Also date night investigates. The date night investigates was going to be I'm gonna say this: Date Night Investigates is gonna be something different. It's gonna definitely have. I'm gonna have articles. I'm gonna show you how one of the biggest things I'm definitely gonna actually bring to the forefront is that there is definitely a lot of information to understand how we how the power or the financial structure switched from women to men. There's so much information on how it started. There was also studies on what it would do, and best believe for what I've seen, um, it worked. Actually, the results worked 10 times more than what they thought. I'm going to show evidence of that. I'm going to pull the paperwork out. You can decide on if this is for you or not. It's totally up for you. Again, anything I say here is my opinion. I accept all of the opinions. This platform, anybody can come on the platform at any time. Inbox me. We got Instagram date night online on Instagram. You got date night online YouTube. You got Facebook, my personal account, which date night group will be formed shortly. But one of the biggest things that we're going to offer that I'm excited about will be the date night website. It will be a dating site. If you get an opportunity, you kind of peek in on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You see what we got. But it's definitely state of the art. It's going to have some things, I'm sure. I've already checked. There's some things um that a lot of these sites are not going to have. It's not up yet, but when it's launched, you'll have everything you actually need. So look out for the date night dating site. Other than that, I appreciate your time, and we'll see you. One thing about this date night online, I don't have a schedule, and I don't think I'm gonna have a schedule. I'm gonna have guests, but I'm gonna definitely come on at any time. And when I do, I will put the alerts out. They'll give you time. I'm gonna have so many other different people come. Again, I might even have someone else I dated to kind of go over some things that you can hear that could probably help you as an individual, or help you and that particular person to at least find some ground, so you're not carrying that extra weight of this person's this way. This person made me feel this way. Sometimes if you can get an understanding, you can let it go and you can move on. That's just my opinion on that. So other than that, I appreciate your time, and we will see you another time. Thank you.